we are introducing them to the new manual in terms of teaching them the types of information that's available in the manual and how to utilize the manual. And we're getting them to think about disaster risk management as a full spectrum, moving from preparedness as the first stage into response and then recovery.
What common challenges would you say that each state have in common in terms of disaster management?
Well, of course, particularly within the Caribbean region, the challenge or the hazard or risk that we are most familiar with would be that of hurricanes. But as the discussions would have borne out, this is the second in-country training. We did the first one in the Bahamas about 3 weeks ago. Risks and hazards continue to emerge in the region outside of hurricanes. We are seeing where there are more frequent and intense storms, whether it be tropical depressions, hurricanes, and we're also seeing other types of hazards, whether it be man-made hazards or, for instance, more short-term flash hazards, so flooding, drought, these types of scenarios. And these scenarios are all common across the Caribbean. And so we're trying to get stakeholders to understand that their disaster or their hazard management planning should take into account hazards that occur at the micro level, so whether it be a hazard that might be specific to their company, so a fire in an office building, for instance, that's a hazard. Or at the national level, where we would see storms, flooding, or so on, or even at the regional level. So for instance, we're having issues of sargassum seaweed coming into the Caribbean. That is a regional type hazard that has been affecting the tourism industry quite negatively. And so this type of thinking is what we're really getting the stakeholders to understand, and understand that regardless of the hazard or the risk, the responses and the basic questions that should be asked in terms of crafting the response, they are very common and they remain the same.